the Biden administration allowed into the country 1.3 million illegal immigrants. Now, those immigrants are going to file for asylum. It's going to take a while, but from 2019, from previous years, there's a whole backlog of cases of immigrants who have been filing for asylum, and those cases have been decided. So how many of those cases were people actually deported? The number is less than 2,000. So here you have a case where Biden is letting in 1.3 million a year, and as far as people who are being deported just for illegal immigrant or just for crossing the border legally, it's less than 2,000 people a year that he's deporting.
Welcome to the Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Westwood, and I'm here today with commentary editor Conn Carroll. And Conn, in the District of Columbia this past year, the city hit 200 homicides.
Yes.
Bad milestone. Why is crime so bad specifically in D.C. when murder rates are, falling elsewhere?
So murder rate actually went down a little bit in D.C., but it was the second consecutive year of murder rates above 200. Now, when you look at a bunch of other cities, a lot of them, murders took off during the summer of 2020, during the George Floyd riots. But in D.C., it actually happened before that. It actually happened in 2018. And it actually coincided with a number of criminal justice reforms that the D.C. Council made, including basically not prosecuting a lot of gun offenses. And they also introduced a new diversion program for juvenile offenders. And so what do we see exactly increasing is gun crimes, because you're not prosecuting people who carry illegal guns, and juvenile crimes because you're not prosecuting those people. And so you have these increasing crime among these groups, and until you actually enforce the law, until you actually put these people behind bars, you're going to have an increasing crime.
The Biden administration has been, talking more about crime and also talking a lot more about border security. Biden gave a big border security speech on Thursday. He is allegedly planning this visit, this is inaugural visit to the border. But the Biden administration has been really insistent that they're doing a good job and that they're removing people under, existing standards. Is that the case?
No. The short answer is no. But when you look at I don't know what Biden might say, but if you look at what White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has said, she always says that, look, we're going to let these people use the asylum system, but as soon as they're denied asylum, they are quickly removed. But if you look at the data, that's just not so. So the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, put out their annual report on December 30th. And in that report, you can go in and see the absolute numbers of people that they've actually gone into the country and removed from the country. So in FY 2022, the Biden administration allowed into the country 1.3 million illegal immigrants. Now, those immigrants are going to file for asylum. It's going to take a while, but from 2019, from previous years, there's a whole backlog of cases of immigrants who have been filing for asylum, and those cases have been decided. So how many of those cases were people actually deported? The number is less than 2,000. So here you have a case where Biden is letting in 1.3 million a year, and as far as people who are being deported just for illegal immigrant or just for crossing the border legally, it's less than 2,000 people a year that he's deporting.
And finally, the biggest story this week, can't let you go without asking you a question about the speakership fight. Congressman Chip Roy from Texas has sort of become one of the big faces of the opposition to McCarthy. And he, like others, have sort of been accused of moving the goalposts and making the McCarthy speakership opposition personal rather than about extracting concessions. What would you say to those critics?
I mean, it's just not true. I mean, they put out a list of priorities that they had months ago. And it was an open amendment process. It was voting on appropriations bills. It was getting more House Freedom Caucus members on the Rules Committee. And these are all things that in the news that he's asking for now, that some reports will say McCarthy has conceded on those points. So I can't vouch for everyone who's voting against McCarthy. But when you look at what Chip Roy put out and said, this is what I want a more open House, I want a more transparent House, I want our elected representatives to actually take vote on an amendment. I mean, who wouldn't want that? And he's fought for that, and he's got some concessions on that, and I hope it all works out in the end.
Well, Conn, thank you so much for being here today. You can get more writing from Conn and the rest of the commentary team at washingtonexaminer.com.